Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's On at disneyplus.com. It's time for a quick Disney Plus news roundup where I'll be talking about the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny digital release date. Also going to be talking about Disney closing down a studio in Singapore and much more. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. Okay, let's start off talking about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny because Disney has announced that it's going to be coming to digital platforms to purchase on August the 29th. So this will be available on Amazon, on Vudu, on Apple, Google Play, all the usual places where you want to buy and rent your film. So obviously this is going to be a premium purchase. So it's going to be kind of, in the $20 zone. This continues that trend of Disney releasing films digitally just after a theatrical release. It's a lot later than we see from Universal. They put out films within weeks. Disney kind of hold back till at least 2 months. So what that does mean in terms for Disney Plus is now that release we know with the digital release, we pretty much can guarantee then it's going to be coming to Disney Plus at some point pretty soon after. No release date has been revealed for the physical release, for example, on 4K or Blu-ray. Usually with the announcements they put that out, but sometimes they don't. I think when they do that, it kind of ends up setting up when's it going to be arriving on Disney Plus, because we can kind of usually go by the date of the DVD release to kind of line up with Disney Plus. I suspect it's going to be at least a month. I wouldn't actually be too surprised if it goes a little bit longer than that, a little bit more like Avatar: The Way of Water, because they're going to want to try and get a little bit more money out of this film because it cost $300 million. So they're going to need to get some money back. So I think it's going to be probably into October before we get to see it, maybe even November. They've got a lot of movies to release in the next few months. We've got Little Mermaid coming up in September, Elemental, which just got released on digital as well today, so you can purchase that. I've got it today, so I'm going to be watching that later tonight. And then we've also got a Haunted Mansion, which I suspect they're going to want to get out in October, so it wouldn't surprise me if they held this one back for November time, but it could easily drop in early October as well. I don't think it's going to be at the end of September because it's a little bit too close to Elemental, but that's my own little theory and stuff. Obviously you get lots of bonus features and stuff with it, but if you're going to be checking out the film, obviously it'll be coming out, as I said, on digital platforms on the 29th of August. But let me know, are you going to be picking it up or are you going to wait for Disney Plus? Let me know in the comments below. If you are a D23 Gold member, good news, Disney is going to be holding some special events later this week for Ahsoka at Walt Disney World and at Disneyland. So these events are only for D23 members. It does include like a park hopper pass, so they're probably going to be selling out pretty quickly. But you're going to be able to get to watch the first 2 shows, which is going to be coming to Disney Plus on the 23rd. The events are going to be taking place on the 17th of August. So it's a great way of kind of bringing everyone together to watch these shows. And yeah, watching things on the big screen with a great bunch of people really does make a big difference. Back at Star Wars Celebration, we got to see Star Wars The Mandalorian, one of the episodes. So being able to watch it on a big screen with people, it's just kind of a theatre experience. But obviously with Disney not really being able to do big premiere events, doing stuff like Walt Disney World and Disneyland just makes a lot of sense for them to do. But yeah, you can find all the details in the link below. But yeah, that's only available for D23 Gold members. So you have to sign up for that one. But let me know, will you be attending? Love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments below. So as we all know, the second season of Marvel's Loki is going to be arriving on Disney Plus on October the 6th, with new episodes dropping every week. Well, this week McDonald's has launched its new As Featured By promotion, which includes a new trailer which features a few little snippets from the upcoming second season. We're also going to have a special meal where you can either get some chicken nuggets or a cheeseburger, and you get some special sauce that's like got Loki and stuff on it. It looks like it's just sweet and sour sauce. There's nothing particularly to things. I've been checking this morning on the app, but my local McDonald's doesn't have it yet, so I'm gonna, when it comes in, I'll give it a go. I'll do something with that one. But yeah, so it's a nice little feature. There's also in the advert, it shows other films and stuff that it's been McDonald's has been featured in over the years, including like Fifth Element and Seinfeld. There's also going to be some extra tie-ins with Loki and stuff. It's a nice little promotion. But yeah, so it's kind of cool to see this one. But let me know, you're going to be checking out McDonald's for this special promotion? Let me know in the comments below. In some more sad news, Disney has announced today that it is going to be closing down its animation and VFX studio in Singapore. So this is Lucasfilm's building, and it is kind of shaped like the Sandcrawler from Star Wars. Opened many years ago, though actually a couple of years ago, Disney even sold the building to BlackRock for over $100+ million. So they've sold the building, they're going to be closing it down. That means it's going to be affecting about 300 people. There's going to be like some job fairs to try and get people to move over to other jobs. They're also going to be doing some offers to other studios, because they've got studios, for example, in San Francisco, London, Sydney and Mumbai. But this is just part of, again, this continuation of Disney trying to cut costs. They have trying to reduce their budgets by about $5 billion, and so this building was sort of deemed that they no longer need it. It has worked on a number of shows like Star Wars, The Clone Wars, but as Disney is pulling back on the amount of content it's making and the amount of global stuff it's doing, it's obviously felt like it doesn't need this studio anymore. And like I said, I think we are going to be seeing a lot less Star Wars content going forward and just less Fun Disney. So maybe they've now decided they don't need all these studios, which is a shame. Those are that there is going to absolutely suck. You know, people that have worked there for years, it's just not good. I mean, I would kind of say, wouldn't it make more sense to keep the VFX studios? There's a lot of issues with Marvel and stuff, so why not use them more? That you can outsource stuff from different places. I don't know, but definitely Disney are looking to kind of pull back all over the place, and where we are really seeing that one. But let me know what you think of all that in the comments below. Let's now talk about what's new on Disney Plus today. So around the world, we got a third episode of the third season of Only Murders in the Building. So this is also on Star Plus in Latin America and on Hulu in the United States. I watched that episode this morning. Really good. Meryl Streep in this one was fantastic. She did this amazing song in it. It was great. And we're really kind of playing on the idea of who might have done the killing. Just loved the whole aspect of the show. It's just so fun. And I wanted to bring up, because last night, I got to take part in a special escape room experience that's currently running at select location in Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and you can also do it online. Now, they've extended it a few days till like the 21st. Whether or not you can get a slot, it's not easy, but we ended up doing this thing with some other journalists, and we were able to control, or not really control, but we had somebody in the room in Los Angeles, and they would be doing stuff. So they'd be in like this room, and you had to get them to go over and open up the drawers, and they could find puzzle pieces, and then we had to unlock codes, and we had to do some. It was over an hour. It was about an hour that we were doing this. I've never done an escape room before. I absolutely loved it. It took a little bit of time to kind of get into it, but quickly got into it, and we were all like, you know, sort of communicating and trying to get them to do stuff as we were spotting stuff. And just very weird, because it wasn't like I was expecting like a virtual one to be like virtual, but this one was effective. We actually had a member of staff, our detective, in the room actually in Los Angeles doing it for us as we were doing it through Zoom. A lot of fun. I've never done anything like that before, but nice little bit of promotion for Only Murders in the Building. I had a whale of a time. I thought it was so much fun. I'm definitely now going to think, like, I might have to do one of these escape room things. It might not be like that, but I really enjoyed it. Very hard. A lot of questions. I definitely wouldn't have done it by myself. I definitely needed the help of the other journalists. Well, I think we all kind of had little things, but yeah, it was definitely interesting. But I thought I'd just pour that one in there as well. Okay, let's now jump into today's comment of the day. From yesterday's video, SJI said, with the exception of rare shows like Squid Game, does this indicate that foreign titles have less appeal in English-speaking countries? This one is very interesting, and I do feel like, you know, there are some series that seem to have kind of become big hits. Squid Game, I would put like Money Heist, Lupin, you know, we've seen some films and stuff, you know, they can become big hits, and we get a lot of them. You know, we get, every now and again, you'll get something that blows up, and it is a really good story with really good acting, and people will give it a go. We've seen it happen with sort of movies in time. I think like Parasite and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. These kind of things come along every now and again, and we all get really excited and like enjoy something because it's really good. And so we've kind of seen this explosion of international originals. But the truth is simply, not a huge amount of people watch them. You know, if they're dubbed or subtitled, some people will not watch it. I personally will. I'm quite fine with dubbed shows. Subtitles, I find, the trouble is with subtitles, I just have to sit there and focus on it, and ultimately I've got very limited time, so I might be scrolling on the internet, or it has to be really good to engage me for that amount of time. So that's my own little issue, but I can't be the only one. I know most people, you know, that they end up kind of watching TV whilst scrolling your phone and, you know, having a chat with somebody. You know, it's not always fully engrossed. So that's obviously an issue. I think animation stuff works a little bit different, like with anime. I know a lot of people like having things with subtitles rather than dubbing. So that's always an issue. But I do think there is an expectation that these shows probably maybe do better than we would like them to do. You know, for example, like the French show Weekend Family, you know, there were some stats that the Grim Reaper put out on TV. Great name. He put it out on Twitter and kind of said, you know, I think by the amount of people that watched it, it might have only been about 1,000 people. You know, that is not a lot of people. That is, you know, the minutes that are being watched are just not a huge amount. And you know, how many times do you start up a show on Netflix or on Disney Plus or something like that, and you click on it and you think it's something, and then it goes into dubbed, and you're like, oh, yeah, or subtitles, and you leave. I think Netflix is annoying on that one with how much they do it, but there are a lot of shows that people do watch. My wife watches lots of different dubbed shows and stuff, so you know there is definitely a market there for it. But the ones like Squid Game do not come along all the time. They are unicorns. They don't happen very often. And I feel like all the studios, they want some of it. You know, they definitely want to be making original content to pull in local audiences. And it makes sense to put it out for everyone to be able to enjoy. They might find that good one, but not every single show. That would essentially, it's a bit like saying every show that comes out of the US is going to be a huge global box office. It doesn't. Not every single show is. You know, there are some awful shows being made in the US, then they don't translate well everywhere else. There's loads of shows here in the UK that just do not make it big around the world. They, you know, and that's kind of normal. And it's a bit like that with, you know, international shows. Some great stuff will find its audience, but if it's average or it's just not that good, it will not capture on and people might not check it out. You know, and it is just unfortunately one of those things. I do feel like, you know, Disney are also pulling back on it because, again, they'd be pulling back on it because it's not working. They would not be pulling back on it if it was working. And that's the key thing to remember everything with Disney and other studios. They keep doing what works and what makes them money. They stop doing stuff that doesn't work and doesn't bring them in money. And that's the key issue. But let me know, do you watch international originals? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And I think also the term international original is very weird because ultimately, like for myself, I could put like maybe, you know, like Ahsoka into that thing of, oh, that comes from the US. I mean, a lot of like Loki and stuff are filmed here in the UK, so that's kind of like, but you see what I mean. There's definitely that thing of I like watching Australian dramas as well. I enjoy watching that. But let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Go check us out over at what's on at disneyplus.com. Like, follow, and subscribe, and I shall see you guys soon. Laters.